Tom Holland and Zendaya keep making headlines, and it's not just about their engagement last month. The Spider-Man No Way Home co-stars were spotted at a lively party in Oakland over the weekend, surrounded by family and friends, and the way people referred to Tom was hilarious. In a clip that quickly went viral, one partygoer asked Zendaya how to say "I love you" in sign language. She sweetly demonstrated before the camera flipped to Tom. Standing in the crowd, the person then casually called him Spider-Man as if it was the most natural thing in the world. And honestly, can we blame them? Meanwhile, the Marvel Cinematic Universe wasted no time in taking a playful jab at Tom Holland Spider-Man homecoming suit right as 2025 kicks off. Spider-Man suits have always been a visual representation of his journey, each costume marking a different chapter, from the stark design high-tech suits to the homemade one we saw at the end of No Way Home. Now Marvel has subtly thrown shade at one particular aspect of his early MCU suit, the drones. Remember those in the latest release? Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Episode 3, we get a scene where Peter Parker is having a fancy dinner with Norman Osborn, who has been on the hunt for Spider-Man. After figuring out his identity, Norman goes on a bit of a ramble, brainstorming ways he can help Peter improve his crime-fighting game. At one point, he suggests adding a drone to his suit, but almost immediately dismisses it, saying, "Nah, that's a bit too much." Sound familiar? It's a not-so-subtle dig at Tony Stark's design for Spider-Man's suit in Homecoming, which famously had its own surveillance drone. Talk about a little friendly MCU banner. It seems like Norman and Tony have different opinions on how much tech a superhero actually needs, but let's be real. There was a reason Stark's drone made sense for this particular Spider-Man. The MCU Peter Parker has always been something of a protege to Iron Man. His journey was intertwined with Tony's legacy from the moment he stepped into the franchise with Civil War. And while some fans weren't thrilled about Spider-Man being so connected to Iron Man, it made sense given the narrative direction now. With Tony gone and Peter truly on his own, the tech-heavy elements of his suit seem to be fading into the background, which feels right for the next phase of his story. Speaking of Peter Parker's next phase, where does he go from here? Spider-Man No Way Home ended on a bittersweet note. Peter had to erase himself from the memories of everyone he loved, including MJ and Ned, leaving him alone. With a fresh start in a classic DIY Spider-Man suit, it was the first time in the MCU that he truly felt like the Peter Parker we know from the comics, scraping by in a tiny apartment with no one but himself to rely on. The question is, will Spider-Man stick to that grounded storytelling, or will he be pulled back into another multiversal team-up? Only time will tell, but fans are hoping for a street-level Spider-Man story that lets Tom Holland really sink into the character's classic struggles. Of course, we all want to see Peter and MJ reunite someday, and when they do, it will hit so much harder if Peter has had time to truly miss her and grow as a person. Right now, he's essentially starting from scratch. No Avengers, no Stark tech, no support system, just him and the city he's sworn to protect. It's an exciting direction, and one that could lead to some of the most compelling Spider-Man storytelling we've seen in the MCU. So, what's next for Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Will Marvel fully commit to this new grounded version of the character, or will they find a way to tie him back into the bigger universe with upcoming multiversal crossovers and the return of familiar faces? Anything is possible, but one thing's for sure: Spider-Man's journey is far from over, and whether he's swinging solo or teaming up with a new crew, we're all in for the ride.